I want all of you to pay attention to this workshop, to this talk, to get guidelines. We would actually insist on it, we would mandate it, we would enforce it, we may refuse to do something else. We might insist, no, you must register somewhere, you must post your questions, and so on. It is because you will find that there are many benefits, which I'm going to explain. Not only that, using this method, you can also conduct a workshop on Scilab if you follow this, if you understand it exactly, right? First of all, use the downloaded videos. If anybody has not downloaded the videos, please post on the chat. Because once we start the workshop, we will stick to the schedule. If somebody comes and says, sorry, I cannot access the video, that's your mistake. Why didn't you listen to it? Why didn't you listen to me? Why didn't you download the video? You must download the video, right? And I have downloaded the videos. So it's a zip file. It comes like UQSR, whatever that is, okay? Then what do? Download the zip file, unzip it, we'll create a folder called Spoken. Here is this folder called Spoken. It has all these files. Locate within the folder Spoken a file called index.html. Open it with Chrome or Firefox, not Internet Explorer. So for example, open with, see this? Please look at it carefully. In spite of my telling repeatedly, people still try to open using Internet Explorer. Some features are not available in Internet Explorer. The video will not play. Okay? So you can, of course, you don't have to listen to me. You can try it, waste half an hour. That's your lookout. But I encourage all of you who are paying attention to my talk, please open index.html using Firefox or Chrome only. Okay? So let me open it. You were asked to watch 3 tutorials. What are the 3 tutorials? These are the 3 tutorials. These are all in the instruction mail that is sent to you. But most people, including myself, don't read instructions. Okay? Fine. You're like me. I'll try to help you. I'll explain to you some of these things. But whenever you have time, you must go through these 3 videos, right? But I will shortly explain. I'll give a brief summary of these videos, right? Next, what do? Select FOSS category. There will be Scilab, you select it. Okay, then what do? Select language English. Select language English. Remember I told you can dub it into all 22 languages. Here we are giving only English version. For all registered colleges, remember I told you about the subscription thing? Those colleges will have the privilege to download such a file, okay, free of cost. And they can choose whatever language they want. For example, they can say, I want it in English and also in Hindi. They can also say that I want English, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam. Okay, so all 4 languages will be there. Somebody can say from let's say Maharashtra, they can say I want English, Marathi, Gujarati, Kannada. Fine, you can download all of them, right? If it is downloaded, it will show up here. Okay, here only English is downloaded, only English shows up. So I select the language English, right? Then what do? Click submit. So all the tutorials will show up. You can see there are 30 tutorials available in Scilab. Now you have to follow the side-by-side method of learning. What is the side-by-side method? I'll demonstrate it. Select the video to watch. So let's say vector operations. Supposing I select that. Okay. Then what do? Shrink the size of the video. How do I shrink? Remember, notice that I have something like this. You have to produce this first of all on your computer. Many of you might do only minimize and maximize. Okay. This is minimize, right? This is maximize. In one of them, it is completely gone. The other one, it is hiding everything else. But there is something in between. There is something in between. That is the third button on your browser, right? You'll have a small square. Okay, you have to click that. If you click that, you will have handles appearing like this. See this handle appearing? You take it there, handle will appear. Using that, you press the mouse, click the mouse, hold it, and drag it. Okay, so you've got it to the end of this. Shrink the size of the video. Then what do? Video on one side, software on the other side. Video is on one side, software on the other side. So in this case, Scilab, because Scilab is open source, I have access to it. So all the software that I have are open source software. So what I will do is I will shrink it. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Video on one side, software on the other side. Some of the things are not required. So what I will do is I'll make it smaller. I don't need it now. I'll make it like this. Okay. I'm okay. In fact, I can even make it slightly bigger. See this? This also our team will be happy to show you. You must learn how to do this. Okay. It maintains the focus. Now I'm going to explain why do we do that. Why should we do side by side? Otherwise, what will happen is, supposing you have, let's say, maximized it. I maximized it. Okay. Now I say, okay, I want to see the video. What do? I do this. I should actually have gone to this, but sometimes what may happen is, sometimes instead of doing that, let's say by mistake, I go to my mails. Then I say, hey, there is an interesting mail. So let me reply. And there is a link. I click. So I go off somewhere and I'm completely lost. Okay. I forget the fact that I'm doing tutorial. I forget the fact that I am undergoing training. Okay. So what do? Don't do this. Don't do this maximization and tabbing business. So let me carefully come back to Scilab. We come back here. Now I can work safely knowing that I will not get distracted, right? And I should put this away. I'll put this away, right? I will not get distracted. I will not do control tab. I will only do this, right? So it maintains the focus. So let me, where are we? Did I minimize this? I minimized it. Okay. So I'll keep this also here. Oops, this is a Scilab. This is the wrong one, right? Okay, I should have opened the other one. See the problem in getting what you want? Here it is. It maintains the focus. Keep these things side by side. Keep video on one side. Of course, it can be in different parts, but you should be able to see both of them, right? And of course, you can even say that, look, I don't need this black part. Let me take it to this side. Okay, so long as I can see the video, and that allows me to make it even bigger. Okay, and this allows me to slightly make it bigger, right? So this space is good enough for me. Then what do? So it also reduces the cognitive overload, because you do this, you practice it. If you have a doubt, you look at the video. You can see it. What is on the screen? You type the same thing, right? And you watch one command at a time and practice. You complete this for the entire tutorial, you're done. So if any command doesn't work, you rewind, listen to it, practice again. It will always work. Why am I saying that it will always work? Can somebody answer? Can somebody answer it in the chat window? Why do I say that it will always work? If a command doesn't work, rewind, listen to it, repeat it exactly, it will work. It is designed for that purpose. Can somebody guess? How did we design? Remember the novice check of the script? Okay. The other thing that we do is, we say is, make a copy of the code file. Okay, let me see where the code file will be available. Rupa, can you tell me which file plotting has a code file?
So maybe scripts and functions.
Scripts and functions. Okay. So let me take scripts, because not all videos have code file, but some of them have. What we are saying is check if the moment you open it, the moment you open a video, you check whether it has a code file. How do you check? You just scroll down. By the way, I'm using the offline version. Huh? For example, look at it. It says file, right? Normally, it'll say HTTPS, but here it says file, right? Because it has come from the file. If you scroll down, you have something called code file. See this? You have something called code file, right? What do we say? We say, please use the code file. You may be the greatest 10-finger typist. You may be able to you may be able to type extremely fast, but yet we say, please don't do that. Use the code file. Use the code file. Why? Because it reduces typing mistakes. Because you may put 1 in the place of L, for example. You may put a semicolon in the place of colon. Many things you might do. It reduces typing mistakes. It gives the same environment as a video. Okay. I'm not sure. Let me just try this, whether plotting 2D graphs, it has a code file. So even this has. I can actually give a data file here. Okay. I can give a data file here as a code file, and I say, let me open this data file. And you also open it. And you say plot. Then you plot. You get exactly the same thing. Normally, people don't give all this, but we have made it a point to give this so that you have the same environment as in the video, right? Other thing that we ask you to do is, please make a copy of the extracted file. Make a copy. Make a copy, make a copy, make a copy. There are 2 reasons. This will ensure that the files are extracted. Because if you have not extracted, you cannot copy. In the workshop, school workshop that we conducted, for example, there were teachers who didn't know how to extract. And some of them thought they extracted, but they didn't extract. Basically, Windows was showing, look, these are the files for extraction. What do you want to do? And they didn't read that. We don't read the instructions, right? So if you had read the instructions, it would have said, what do you want me to do? And there is a small button called extract. They should have clicked it, right? But they didn't do that, right? As a result, they thought it was extracted, and they tried to access that file from that software, and the software said, well, I can't find the file. But this will say, but I'm seeing it. You're seeing it. You're seeing that it is available. It is not extracted. So you must extract, okay? And if you make a copy of it, you will know immediately, because otherwise copy command will say it is not extracted. Copy command will say file is not found. Will you say copy command is not working? Will you say the operating system has a bug? Otherwise you will say Scilab has a bug, right? Because you will try to access the unextracted file from Scilab, and when Scilab complains, you say Scilab has bug. Scilab doesn't have a bug, okay? So you must make a copy of the extracted file to ensure that the files are extracted. Not only that, as I told you, you are supposed to make a copy, use it, and you try various things. You may reproduce whatever we show in the video. In fact, that's what we insist. We say, whatever the video says, do this. If you try something else, you can try something else also. That is what is not in the video. But there is no guarantee that it will work, because you are still learning. Okay. So what we say is, in large workshops like this, what we say is, if it doesn't work, don't worry. You can try it later. Right now, in this workshop, just make sure that you can reproduce everything. Because anyway, there are lots of things to learn. Lots of things are there to learn. Okay. Just do whatever I'm saying. Learn that first. And then after that, you can always try on yourself, by yourself, right? Even here, you are welcome to try something by yourself. If it works, well and good. If it doesn't work, We may answer or we may not answer depending on how many people are asking questions and so on. So we say reproduce whatever is in the spoken tutorials, and there are 30 tutorials available. You don't have enough time to go through all of them and practice. Do that first, right? And that will give you enough. Anyway, you are doing hands-on. It is not a theoretical kind of workshop. You will see about maybe 25% related to theoretical part, 75% hands-on kind of a thing, right? So you must look for the code file. You must extract it. You must use it. You must make a copy of it, right? These are all the things, please remember. Now I come to a very important thing called forum. Okay, this is something that you have to use. I know that I have reached my end of the time, but I'm going to take another maybe 10 minutes. Kumar, are you there?
Yeah, I am there.
So we have Professor Kumar Appaya of Electrical Engineering. He'll be delivering the next talk. So I'm requesting Professor Kumar to wait. I'll take another, by 11, I'll give it to him.
No problem.
Yeah. Check forum for previous discussion. What is this forum? Let me just show you that. Okay. So let me open a new one. I go to something called forums.spoken-tutorial.org. Okay. So how do I find it? You can also find it from here. Let me just show you that. You would have all gone to Spoken Tutorial website to do registration. And here something called forums is there. Let me click forums. Okay. So I'm in the forums. Okay, let me keep this and the other one side by side because I don't like the idea of control tab business. Where are we? Yeah, this is it. Let me keep it here. Okay. Basically, you can see it is my defense mechanism. Side by side method is my defense mechanism from being sidetracked. Okay, from being distracted rather. So I can switch back only between these two. I don't get distracted. Okay. Check the forum for previous discussion. No need to wait because what if my question is already answered? No need to wait, even if the class is large. Okay. So let me show you how we should use this, how you should use this. View all the previous questions. Lots of questions are there. We conducted a workshop on OpenFOAM. You can see lots of questions. Chem Collective workshops we did, and so on. So let me see if Scilab is here. Okay, no problem. Even if it is not there, you can also search. So Scilab, for example. So all the questions asked on Scilab are there. And in every page, there are 20 questions. You can see there are 11 pages. So more than 200 questions are there. 200 threaded discussion are there. Okay. Now, so then you might say, here I'm saying immediate answers. How do I get an answer immediately? My question may be asked by somebody, but it may be in one of the 220 questions. I will take 1 hour to search through all this. What do you mean by immediate? Well, it is not so bad. Look at this lens next to Scilab. See this? Let me zoom it. See this lens next to Scilab? So let me click this. Okay, only Scilab questions are there, right? So for example, why did I say that? For example, here, let me go to the first page. Okay, sorry, I've come to this, right? I've come to this. Now, but I can't look at Scilab, right? Or for example, supposing I want to look at all the questions on OpenFOAM, then I click the lens next to OpenFOAM. Then only OpenFOAM questions come, right? So let me go back. Let me search for Scilab because I lost that Scilab thing. So I get all the Scilab questions. Now, even if what I'm saying is if you press the lens next to Scilab, even if there are other questions, they will get thrown out, only Scilab will be there. Then Scilab is 220 questions. Then how do I do that? Then we have the tutorial name. You can search by the tutorial name using the lens feature next to the tutorial name. So let me say, supposing I have a question on optimization using Karmarkar function. We can do that. Or iteration. Let's say iteration is something that you will be using. Let me click this. Let's see how many questions are there. Oh, there are enough questions. That's what I wanted. So I have selected that tutorial. All questions, all discussions under this tutorial are available here. Here also, this also may run into several pages. This may take 10 minutes to go through and figure out. Then what do? We have something called minutes. This is the video location, time location in the video. Okay. So for example, this question comes between 0 and 1 minute, right in the beginning. These questions are between 1 and 2 minutes, iteration 1 and 2 minutes, autocorrelation, and whatever. Of course, they could have, if they had given the title better, it's better. For example, this is okay. Let's see, on iteration, this person says iteration. Let's see what this question is. When to use continue statement in iteration. So we can say, I have the edit privilege. Let me just change this. This is a better thing, right? See. Continue statement is better, right? So the title that you have here, where is it? We go forward. Okay. We go here. Iteration is what we are talking about. Minutes. Now it has become continue statement. So this title, if people have given correctly, then it becomes easy to locate. Actually, this is not so bad because some people, some faculty members gave the title as associate professor, okay, or lecturer. They thought that we were talking about their title. How useful is it here, right? You want to put a title relevant to the question that you are asking, okay? So you say minutes. Now what happens is you can see by clicking, of course, you can do forward or reverse, whatever. So here you are 0 to 1 minute, 1 to 2 minute, 2 to 3 minute. So if you have a question between 2 and 3 minutes, you can come here. Maybe your question is on continue statement. Then you go and check it. Maybe. Okay, when to use continue statement in iteration to pass control to the next iteration of a loop, whatever it is. Okay, so some answer is there. So your answer is already discussed. Okay, and no need to wait because there could be, remember, it's going to be a hands-on workshop. Everybody is practicing. Everybody has a laptop. Everybody is practicing. And you have a question and the teacher comes to you. The instructor comes and explains. 10 other people stand up. They all have to wait. If they have to wait for the TA, because you don't expect, even in a 100 people class, you don't expect more than 10 TAs. So if assuming that a lot of people have questions, each TA will have to answer 2-3 people. You have to wait. Here, there is no wait. Go and check. Answer is already there. If not, you post your question. Okay. Ask your questions on the forums only. Okay. So supposing I want to ask a question, let me just tell you how to do that. Ask a question. Okay. When I ask a question, it will open a thing like this, page like this, select a category. So for example, you will say Scilab, right? Select a tutorial. How many tutorials are there? 30 tutorials. Okay. In fact, there is a 31st also general. Okay. Introduction to Scilab, its benefits, it's the same thing. For example, iteration is here. Okay. Supposing I have a question in, let's say, vector operations. Okay. Then in vector operations, I have a question between 3 and 4 minutes. Okay. And then in 3 and 4, between 3 and 4 minutes, in other words, when you watch the video, when you have the doubt, you have to check at what time of the video you have this question. Let's say between 3 and 4 minutes, right? Between 3 and 4 minutes. And suppose it comes, the answer, your doubt comes between 20 and 30 seconds. Okay. You post your question here and you describe your question and then you submit your question, right? And it comes, right? And of course, you can also modify. Supposing, for example, let's say I want to have further question. Please write the exact problem statement. How do resonating frequency using autocorrelation work? So this person's answer says, please write the exact problem, but I can answer it here. Okay, I can answer it here because I have logged in. I have logged in because it says Kannan logged in, right? Now, if I have not logged in, that's what will happen. It will come and say log in first. Supposing you say, I have not, let me log out. Okay. I have logged out. Now, supposing I want to ask a question. By the way, it comes like this because I have zoomed it quite a bit. If I didn't zoom it, it'll come on the top, right? Some of you may actually find it here on the top. So supposing I press the ask a question, what will happen is it'll say username, password. Forgot password. What do you do? If you don't have an account, you have to register. Register, log in, and then password, right? So this is how you should do. Now, you can actually help others by participating in this, right? This discussion will be useful to others. Don't you want to help others? So this is one reason why you should do that. You can use this in your own teaching, right? You might be a teacher. You might say that, go and see this. And any new question you will always answer because you say that, look, my students I know will be asking these kind of questions. Because all said and done, even if it is novice checked, the video has slight glitches. Or your students seem to understand it in a different way. So they have a question and you're tired of telling them every day, day in and day after. So you say that, okay, I'll just go and explain it once and for all on the forum and I'll ask people to go and check. Okay, which is very good. It is useful for recognition. Tomorrow, you say that I want a Scilab job. Somebody has advertised, okay, ISRO says that, or there is a small company of consultants which creates a simulation for ISRO, for example. CNES uses Scilab. ISRO and CNES are partners. So tomorrow, ISRO may use Scilab. So they may outsource a project. A consulting company is looking for somebody to develop. You apply for it and they ask, how do I know? Why should I even call you for interview? Because I already have received 100 students applying for jobs and I can invite only 20 people. I'm going to discard most of them. You are from an unknown college. Why should I take you? You should say, well, I may be from an unknown college, but look at what I have done. Go to the forum where I have answered so many questions that people have on Scilab. And you can also see the questions that I asked in the beginning. I was a beginner. And you can see from the dates, within 6 months, I was so good, I was answering somebody else's question. So this company will say, yeah, what's the point in taking somebody from a great college? That person may not even stay for 6 months, whereas this guy is likely to stay with me. He also seems to be good. Let's call for interview. The moment you get the interview call, then you made it, right? You talk to them, you impress them, you explain to them, right? So this is extremely important recognition from potential employers to get project funding. Same thing for faculty members. At the time of assessment, somebody might say, how do I know that you are using Scilab? Okay, you can explain, look, I have been doing all this. Look at the forum answers. That shows that how much I know. To get awards, etc. This time, in fact, a school teacher got prestigious award. What award is that?
So Fulbright.
Fulbright. Yeah, Fulbright award. A school teacher from Himachal Pradesh got Fulbright award and Fulbright award to go to the US and spend 1 semester. Okay. Okay. So we have some research questions on the feedback questionnaire that we will ask later. Do you feel confident in exploring other aspects of the software? If you go through spoken tutorials, anyway, we don't have to go through this, but these are some research questions. Can you conduct such a hands-on workshop to students not fluent in English using Scilab? Do you feel confident to conduct a similar workshop with or without additional help? Can you conduct such a large workshop for a large number of people without affecting the flow and sticking to the schedule? Sticking to the schedule is the most important thing. Hands-on workshop, 100 people, but we will be on schedule. You will see how. And we will also accommodate fast learners and slow learners. I think maybe here. Okay. I think it was here. Anyway, I'll be asking this in the question. Anyway, I've come to the end of my talk. I'm going to stop here. Okay, if there are any questions in the chat, to Dr. Banu Rekha, please, you must ask your question not on the chat, but on the forum. Okay, I just explained to you. Please don't post like this. Please please post it in the Spoken Tutorial forum. Have you registered, Dr. Banu Rekha? Have you registered in the Spoken Tutorial forum? In fact, I have a standing order. My staff members, I tell them, if any technical questions that can be answered on the forum, if they answer it in the chat window, they will lose their job. Simple as that. Okay, because I have already explained to you all the benefits to you, to everybody. Okay, chat window means people, I mean, I have seen many times somebody gives the link and 5 minutes later somebody says, I can't find the link in 5 minutes because so many things come. In other words, whatever discussion happens through chat is lost. So why should our people waste their time in answering the same question again and again in the chat? I forbid that. I tell them, if you answer anything in the chat window, you will lose the job. Okay, so you must post your question on the forum. If you have not registered on the forum, please register. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and I'm going to hand over. Yeah, thanks. Registered in Spoken Tutorial, Dr. Banu Rekha, please ask the question on the forum. And from the question you asked, I think you are also an advanced user. So we request you to answer somebody else's question. Because if you also start answering, then we might have 5 TAs, but then there might be 10 people in the audience, 10 plus 5, 15. 15 people answering means you give instantaneous answer to everybody. Even 1,000 people can be accommodated. Large training can be conducted. Yes? Great. Thank you, Dr. Banu Rekha.